What if the most confusing book in the Bible wasn't confusing at all? What if Revelation, with all its dragons, beasts, and strange symbols, was actually a letter of hope, written for ordinary people like you and me? Most people open Revelation, then close it 5 minutes later. Too complicated, too mysterious, too scary. But today, everything changes, because by the end of this video, you'll understand Revelation in simple words, so clear you could explain it to a 12-year-old. And here's the best part. Once you see the big picture, the fear melts away. So stick with me, because this final book of the Bible, it might be the most hope-filled story you'll ever hear. Let's rewind to where it all began, with a man named John. Not John the Baptist. This is John the Apostle, one of Jesus's closest friends. But when he wrote Revelation, John was not preaching to crowds. He was sitting on a rocky island called Patmos, exiled by the Roman government, alone, forgotten, separated from everyone he loved. Maybe you know that feeling, that season where life feels silent, where prayers bounce off the ceiling, where you wonder if God even sees you anymore. That's where John was. But here's the twist. Sometimes when life feels most empty, God speaks the loudest. Right there on that lonely island, John sees heaven open. He hears a voice like a trumpet saying, "Write what you see." And that's the book of Revelation. It starts in pain, but it ends in victory. And maybe that's a picture of your life too. Here's where people usually get lost. Revelation feels like a giant puzzle. Dragons here, seals there, trumpets, bowls, mysterious numbers. But let me give you the whole story in one sentence. Evil gets worse. Jesus returns. Justice wins. God makes everything new. That's the big picture. The rest of the book? It paints that story with symbols, visions, and cosmic drama. But why all the symbols? Why not just write it in plain language? Think about it. How do you describe heaven to someone who's never seen it? How do you explain the end of the world using first-century words? John saw things so big, so beyond human imagination, he used images to make them real for us. And we're about to decode them, one chapter at a time. The first part of Revelation has letters to 7 churches, real churches in Asia Minor, but the messages are timeless. One church was poor but faithful, another was rich but spiritually empty, one endured persecution, another got comfortable and stopped caring. If Jesus wrote a letter to you, what would he say? Would he say, "You stayed strong even when life was hard"? Or would he say, "You've lost your first love"? Revelation begins here for a reason. Before God shows us the future, he asks us to check our hearts. Because faith isn't just about knowing what's coming. It's about being faithful right now. Next, John sees something breathtaking. A door opens into heaven itself. He sees a throne shining with colors like jewels, lightning, thunder, a rainbow around the throne. Angels cry out, "Holy, holy, holy." It's like stepping into the command center of the universe. And here's the comfort. When the world feels out of control, heaven is not panicking. God is still on the throne, always. But the next vision John sees will shake the world to its core. John sees a scroll sealed with 7 seals. No one can open it until the Lamb of God, Jesus himself, steps forward. He opens the seals one by one. Each one unleashes a new event on earth. The famous 4 horsemen appear here. A white horse for conquest, a red horse for war, a black horse for famine, a pale horse for death. It's a picture of a world where sin reaches its peak before God steps in to set things right. And maybe you've felt it, the sense that evil keeps getting louder. Revelation says, God sees it, and he has a plan. Sometimes the night feels darkest right before the morning comes. Finally, The moment history waits for, heaven opens again, and this time Jesus returns, not as a baby in Bethlehem, but as a king on a white horse, eyes blazing like fire, wearing many crowns. He speaks, and evil falls silent, once for all. No more wars, no more hospitals, no more tears. Can you picture a world like that? The pain you carry now, gone. The grief that weighs on your heart, erased forever. The Bible ends with the most beautiful promise ever written: a new heaven, a new earth, God living with his people, face to face. No sickness, no fear, no funerals, just life, peace, joy. It's not the end of the story, it's the beginning of the real story. So what do we do with all this? Revelation isn't just about decoding dates or predicting disasters. It's about living ready, living with faith when the world feels shaky, living with hope when headlines scream fear, living with courage when everyone else gives up. If this video helped you finally understand Revelation, tell me in the comments what part spoke to your heart today. And if you want more Bible videos made simple, hit that subscribe button, because next time we'll go even deeper. The last page of the Bible isn't about fear, it's about victory. One day, God will write the final chapter, and if you trust him, the ending will be better than you ever dreamed. So the real question is, when the author turns the last page, will you be ready?